adrenaline rush, sympathetic nervous system activation, increasing heartbeat, pumping more blood, elevated mood. Let's try to have some fun and let's party. Welcome to my chess clinic. Of course, today we will talk about the Smith-Morra. I'm Dr. Chess Rob. I'm in a great mood. If you don't know what Smith-Morra is, close this page, forget about chess. We will talk about some interesting variations which will not be that standard. It will not be the main line, but we will try to have fun. We will try to be naughty and try to beat our opponent under 20 moves. E4, C5, and then D4 takes, and then C3. The main idea is to sacrifice a pawn in order to open up the files, some diagonals, and have faster development. There's an interesting move, knight f3, which can put even more fire into the position, like captures, you will do bishop b2. We will see it in Danish Gambit as well. And then like e6, bishop to c4. This is quite interesting. Some grandmasters played this way. That's quite promising for white. You can try to use this setup in the blitz games. Black's position is not easy to play. But I want to talk about the knight c3, which is much more classic for the Smith-Morra. Knight c6, knight f3. First position that I want to introduce you, and lots of players do this mistake, is to move pawn to d6. And of course, we go with the move bishop to c4 to attack the f7. Remember about the fried liver attack, bishop f7 sacrifices in different scenarios after the first move e4, e5. And after knight f6, of course, pawn to e5. D takes c5, queen d8. Knight captures d8, knight to b5, threatening to check, and then do a fork. Knight wants to get there. If knight e6, bishop e6, then next move is knight c7. Black is helpless. Rook b8, knight e5, suddenly threatening knight c7 checkmate, just with two knights. After e6, because the king has this square, we can grab a pawn, but just bishop f4, threatening to do some discovered attack using the bishop. The knight can go to f7 or g6. We want to do a long castle. a7 is saying white has tremendous compensation. White's position is much better. And if your opponent goes for knight e5, thank you. You can resign in 2 moves. Instantly takes, bishop f7. Great job. We won the game in 9 moves. King f7, queen d8. Now let's try to understand some other things. What if black plays more correct move, pawn to e6, because they saw that the bishop will be on c4, attack the f7 square. This is where an interesting part comes, and the real party will happen. We go with the move bishop c4, and black has different ways to play. So usually they go with the move a6 to not allow any sudden jumps with the knight. They want to push the pawn to b5. But knight f6 is possible too. I don't like this move because after e5, we can get a great outpost. Remember the 4 knights from the Sicilian. This e5, knight e4 will happen a lot. So knight g4, bishop f4 defending the pawn. Then h3, goes back, short castle, and then capture. Now, for 1 pawn, we messed up the king side completely. This bishop is like a tall pawn, almost dead. The king side, as I said, is weak. We have great development. Queen d2, h6 is under attack. The knight will jump to e4, then later to d6 or f6. What we want. Move 12 strategically. It's a winning position for white. After pawn a6, we will do short castle. What we got for the pawn? So we got a better development, we got safer king, we got extra moves for 1 pawn. Plus we have open files in the diagonals. You can say you have a special course for the Sicilian as black. Remember, this will happen all the time. when you will try to evaluate what you want, it's more like stylistic thing. So it's about your style. You want to sacrifice, have fun, play a double-edged position, or you want to play on the other side, take the pawn and say, I'm going to defend everything because I can do it. So the position is unclear, maybe a bit better for one side, but it's very, very playable. And if you know it much better than your opponent, probably you will win most of your games. In our course, we talked a lot about the move knight g2 e7 and then knight g6, which is probably the best way to play, as black. But still, white has their own chances after bishop g5, f6. Bishop could go back here, knight g6. At some point, knight d5 sacrifice would happen. You can check the video of the Smith-Morra from the black side and see, because I explained some interesting options from white side as well. I want to talk about interesting positions where black loses really, really fast. So let's continue the party. What if black does the normal standard move d6? You saw it in the video as well, but just to remind you, here, knight f6, and then very important move, rook d1. We want to push. We want to open up the center. If he gives us the chance, of course, e5. Knight goes somewhere. You can capture, open up the game, knight e4. Black can resign one more time. Move 12. Congratulations, you won a game. If you can win, the final game and get a trophy, that would be amazing. So hope that, this will happen in your chess career. So d6 is bad. Rook d1, queen c7, then bishop f4, attacking the pawn on d6, trying to go for the move e5. If black plays e5, bishop g5, we're going to grab the knight, and we will get a tremendous compensation. If b5, bishop b3, bishop b7, rook c1. White's pieces are fully developed, but look at black. 1-2 moves at least in order to finalize the development, and some moves to bring the rooks out. So if bishop e7, white has two interesting choices, e5 or knight d5. I like this move way more. Takes. We will get the knight back. Doesn't matter if he captures and then does short castle, because after takes and then knight d4, I'm just going to win the bishop. Or if he does immediate short castle, then just d takes. If bishop back, well, you can do rook e1, rook e8, knight g5. So absolutely winning for white is like +4 or +5 by the Stockfish. If bishop takes c6 again, just knight d4, like can reason. So this idea of playing d6, knight f6, queen c7 is not that good for black. This is not the most interesting part. As I said, it's just starting. So b5, bishop goes back to b3, and then again, he can play knight g7. I talked about this in the other video. So from black side, bishop b7. And here we have different options. Bishop f4 makes a lot of sense. Pawn e5, knight e4 makes a lot of sense. Immediate queen e2 is good. But I checked and saw the move knight to d5. This move is quite rare because a lot of players they know about this plan, but they don't know about the existence of it right here, right now. Probably this will give us the highest chances to win. So with knight d5, we'll do the steroid rush into the position. Now let's try to understand what can happen to black. I'm going to start with the move e captures d5, the most obvious. We just take, knight goes to a5, rook e1, check, and the king can't escape. If knight e7, d6, if bishop e7, again d6. Knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes, and white has tremendous compensation. King f8 takes, bishop g5. You can check all the lines and see that white is absolutely winning here. If knight e7, then again d6, knight c6, rook e1 check. Here, we can capture the knight, but knight g5 is even better. Threatening bishop takes f7, check and checkmate. Here, bishop f7. Here, bishop b3. Queen a5, bishop b3 back to do knight f7. Attack the rook, attack the king. Knight is hanging. King c8, knight f7. Here, takes. Rook c1. Look at the position. The material is equal. Look at black's king, look at black's rook, look at black's bishop, look at black queen. Look at the coordination of our pieces versus him. So we're winning. If black does something else, instead of e takes d5, they play the move knight f6. Here we can just play rook e1 and say, I'm going to wait. I'm just going to sit and wait and see what you're going to do. If bishop e7, capture, then e5. Here, knight g5. Again, knight goes to e4 and then d6. Queen goes to h5. Very good position. At least we have a good compensation. And the final one, the final touch. Knight a5. What if he wants to capture this bishop? Bishop g5. Here where the interesting story comes. If bishop e7, which is probably the best, takes bishop c2, f6, bishop e3. White has two bishops, a good compensation. Black's position is quite weak. But what if your opponent will be tempted and will say, I'm going to attack the bishop too, and I'm going to play the move knight f6. Stop the video, think for like 20, 30 seconds, and try to understand what's going to happen in this position as white. What's the best move? I'm going to tell it to you right now. The move is very unexpected. You will think that there is something as bishop f4, bishop h4, bishop e3, or rook e1, or some other sacrifice. Yeah, it's a sacrifice, but in a very unexpected way. Two of our pieces are, in the bad position. They're in the danger. Instead of using the desperado mode, just trying to save them somehow, we'll do something else. We'll say, we're going to put the third piece, under attack as well. We're going to play 95. Why not? Just 95. That's the best move. Of course, it's very logical. Just leave everything out, so your opponent will be confused which one to take. If he captures the knight, queen h5 check. g6, knight g6. Why not king e7? Because you have this move, and probably it will be checkmated after some moves. So here takes king e7, e takes d5, very powerful move, and it's very easy to be checkmated. F takes d6 checkmate. So queen defends the square, the bishop is there as well, the pawn is defended too. Otherwise, the rook moves to e1 and d1. The position is winning for white. If black goes with the move queen b6, rook checks here, rook e8, king to c7. I don't remember. I believe it was bishop f4. Still, rook c1 was there as well. You can check it with the Stockfish. If black goes with the move pawn to g6, now we will do knight f6 check. Another cool sacrifice takes, and then bishop f6. Double attack. We're winning a material, or we will checkmate. What can black do is something out of this world. Logical, but nobody will play this against you. If they play, 99% they're using Stockfish. h5. You don't capture any of the pieces. Instead, you weaken the position even more, the g6 square. Just play h5, and after knight g6, rook h7. Honestly, I didn't analyze all this stuff because it would take like 2-3 days and another like 1 hour to show you what's going on in the position. Just want to show you one interesting line, which is bishop f4, trying to threaten bishop c7 or knight c7 check. E takes. Again, we check d6. Look at black's pieces. Look at black's king. Knight b3, queen b3, king f7, d6 check. The only move is this, and then queen g3 check, king f7, queen b3, here, and it's a draw. Stockfish says it. Who am I to say you're not correct? If you can make Stockfish analysis incorrect, what can I say? Fantastic job. You're better than the Stockfish, so just go and become a professional chess player. Make it as a professional chess career. So you can see how crazy the Smith-Morra Gambit can be. So we're going for this sacrifice with knight pawn storm, like d4, c3. We're just going to sacrifice the pawns in the center, open up the files, use this knight d5 idea, our bishops, our queen, and try to get his king, which was stuck in the center. One more time, knight d5. One more time, listen to this beautiful music, knight d5. Fantastic. It's an art. It's like Beethoven's opera, like Moonlight Sonata of chess, the move knight d5. So probably, if Mikhail Tal would be alive, he would play a game like this. The magician from Latvia. So this is it. Our clinic, actually not clinic, our party is over. So what can I say? Don't subscribe, don't like, forget about the comments, forget about chess. Just go enjoy your life, have some fun. No chess today. See you in the next videos.